All right, hey, you guys got audio now? Does everybody got audio now? Do we got audio? All right, so, and I'm glad. Hey, our viewership went up, and we had no audio. Everyone's like,
they
hey, wait a
enjoyed it
second.
more. They enjoyed it more.
All right, so we're thank you, Dane Burns, thank you, Pete. Welcome into the house. Jose Nacho Reyes is in the house. Robin is in the house. Good seeing you. Just going a little early. We know what I was talking to Mongo earlier, and I was saying, right, we're talking about brand awareness, Santino Brothers brand awareness to be specific, and saying, like, I was actually telling him, I'm thinking about just going on live every morning. Why wouldn't I do that?
Right.
We're on a hunt right now. We're on a hunt with our YouTube channel. 97,000 subscribers. So what are we trying to reach, Mongo?
100,000?
The 100,000. We were on a roll from like October 2019 until just about December 2020, and it just stopped. Right. We were getting about on a low average. We were getting 3,000 subscribers a month. When it was the best, we were getting about 12,000 subscribers a month.
It was the content.
Yeah, so content. Yeah, you know, I know
great matches, interviews, backstage stuff that you don't really get to see.
Everybody's been asking about hey, Chaos, when are you gonna get back to doing the how-to videos? And I'm right there with you. I want to get back to the how-to videos. You know, I want to get the rings back up. I want COVID to end and get back to those.
So the itch.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Because I was thinking of so many things that I could do. Because I was like, we've already done, what is it called? What's Bret Hart's move?
Sharpshooter?
Yes. I'm supposed to be the master. I'm supposed to be the motherfucking man here. Right? So the sharpshooter. And I thought, well, why don't we do a how-to video on how to do the Scorpion Deathlock? Am I wrong?
No, you're right.
Am I wrong?
You're right.
Right? You know what I'm saying? The Scorpion Deathlock, up and over. There's so much stuff that we haven't covered, and we covered a lot. We covered over 120 moves right here on our YouTube channel. Check it out at the Santino Brothers YouTube channel. What's up? Richard Haas is in the house. Dick Haas.
Oh, that guy.
Dick Haas. What's going on? Eduardo De Leon is in the house. Good seeing you, Eduardo, all the way from Tijuana, Mexico.
But let me ask you this.
Talk to me.
Do you feel, I feel like we're going to come back stronger because we had to look at all the mistakes that we got to correct, and then and it gave us the time to think about all the stuff we could have done more. Right?
Yeah.
So now when we go back into it, we actually have a better strategy, a better game plan.
Yeah.
Because it was nonstop for years. It just never stopped. Just kept going and going and going. And sometimes you're just getting that fuzz where it's life and you're tired, but you got to reset that mind and come up with new creative ideas.
I got to be honest with you. And obviously Jezebel knows this, and I've told you this, and I've told Jake Atlas this. And I said, I got to be honest. In March of 2020, if I wasn't as burnt out as I was, I don't know if I would have closed the school down as much, right? You're right. I was completely burned out. We've been off since March. So what is that? At least 7, 8, 9. It feels like it's been 10 months, to be honest with you. And I got the itch. I have got the itch. And the fire. I've got the fire because I think at the end, not the end, but when COVID started, I was burning out. It was just so hard to
keep up with
everything, maintain all these students. And I think it was honestly, I look at it, right? Everyone's saying, fuck you, COVID, right? I think it was the universe telling me, you're not going to take a break. You're never going to take a break. You're going to work 12 years fucking straight and not take a fucking break. All right, here's a break. I'm rolling with the punches right now. I'm rolling with the fucking punches. But yeah, I have the incredible itch. Because I even told
So let me ask you this.
What's that?
Once you figure that you had this 7-month break, right? You could have went on vacation, took the wife somewhere, a couple weeks.
Oh.
But you just kept going.
You know what COVID's taught me?
What?
We could have took 3 months off. No big fucking deal. We could take 3 fucking months off and just stop training and come back in 3 months. I always thought you can't stop. Fuck, it's been so long. We're coming up on a year right now. And I'm getting that itch. I don't know if everyone else is. I don't know if everybody else out there is getting
they're not getting the itch.
You don't think so? I think they are getting that itch where it's been long. I didn't expect it to go this long. And now what's the situation? What's the deal? So
well, let me tell you this.
What's up, guys? Tantalas is in the house. Jose Alberto Hyde, Alan Traval is in the house. And he says he wants to do a how-to video on a clothesline over the top rope. Well, if you go to Santino Brothers YouTube channel, you can definitely find that video today. Basilio is in the house. I'm fiending for the ring, Dick Haas says. I'm sorry, Mongo. Go ahead. Talk to me. Talk to me.
You just said Dick Haas. I have to
talk to me.
One of the guys I'm talking about right here.
Dick Haas. Dick Haas. Haas Hog.
50-50.
Dick Haas. Call him Haas Hog.
Richard Haas, it says. So I'm just going with it.
Don't call him Dick Haas. He's not a dick. Call him Haas Hog.
He's Richard Haas because he wants to be Richard Haas. He knows what the fuck he's doing.
I like Haas Hog.
I like Haas Hog too.
It's a great fucking name.
Yeah.
Listen to me, Dick Haas.
Love you, Daniel.
Hey, but some of these guys were hungry and kept training, and the other ones just looked the same from last year.
Who? Oh, you were sarcastic. Whoa! This is supposed to be the positive podcast. You know what I'm saying? Mongo wants to start calling people out.
It is a positive podcast.
Mongo's trying to call people out.
I'm just trying to get people motivated. Say, hey, man, there's no excuse.
I got to be honest with you. I was as fat as Dick Murdoch in 2015. Yes. I was as fat in 2015, summer of 2015. I was as fat as Dick Murdoch, and I got the call, right? You guys, I don't know. You see the mask back there, right? You see that mask, and that's Mono Roja, and that's my alter ego. And I had about 3 months to get in shape. 3 months. Was that 12 weeks?
Yeah,
12 fucking weeks. How long have we been on COVID? 10 months, right? Something like that. Yeah. So, I don't know, something like that, right? 10 months. So. In 12 weeks, I was able to get rid of the love handles, get rid of the jelly belly, and get rid of the fat around my arms and my shoulders. And I was in the best shape of my fucking life.
Give you a goal.
My fucking life, right? So we've been on COVID for 10 months. And if no one has changed their look.
It was the best shape of your life?
Yes. I honestly can't. I know that I was bigger at one point.
Sometimes that doesn't matter. It's just how you feel inside, your cardio, limber, 100%. Agility.
I was abbed up. Ready to rock.
So the character didn't even need the
12 weeks,
front, right?
12 weeks, right? You gotta look great.
Eli Everfly has been training 3 days a week.
Eli Everfucking.
Oh, that guy. Hey, that's another guy, man. I need anxiety pills for that guy. Seriously.
I know.
Seriously. Hey, I just know he needs some therapy, and I'm ready to give it to him.
Pour some out for the homies.
Oh, don't.
Hey,
love you, Eli Everfly. Hey, training 3 times a week. Right. I got the itch too. I want to get in the ring and I want to start taking some fucking bumps. Chaos at 42 says, I want to wrestle. I got unfinished business here. Bob Halston Body is in the fucking house. I'm doing hashtag Halston100 on a mission to lose 100 pounds. I'm 11 pounds down in 2 weeks now. Congratulations, Coach Bob. Coach Bob, check him out. He's always with us on our online class. We got our next one coming up January 25th. Coach Bob is incredible on the character development. We go through, and people have the most fun at that part when they do the promos. On this class, on the online class, they do the promos. They actually feel I can actually do something. They learn so much. They learn the character development, match psychology, match breakdown, pro wrestling tips, and so much more. So check it out on SantinoBrothers.net, March 25th. January 25th.
Let me ask you this. Would you want to be with Coach Chaos and get kicked in the face, or you want to hang out with Bob and do some promos?
Both. Fuck yeah, both. Fuck both. Yeah. Oh, hell yeah, because I need to do the promos, right?
No, surely.
I need to be able to do the promos, have the personality, have the character, because it goes so far. I always tell our wrestlers at Santino Brothers Wrestling Academy, listen, I get it. And this is usually at the one-day tryout. You might have had a hard time on the physical aspect of professional wrestling, but now we're going into the promo aspect of professional wrestling. And if you could knock this one out of the ballpark, this is the difference between being on the mid card and being in the main event. No matter what your skill level is, if you can talk your way to the main event. Am I wrong, Mongo? Tell me I'm wrong.
No.
You can tell me I'm wrong.
That's what I was trying to explain to Brody. He said, would you rather have a great wrestler or a buff wrestler? right? You could be a very technical wrestler, have great wrestling skills, but not have a character, not know how to do promos, and it's hard to market.
Yeah, but that a good thing that you got a guy like Brody who is very marketable and great people, right? I wish I could be like Brody King. I'm a little bit more standoffish. I'm the DTA motherfucker where I don't trust that motherfucker over there. Why are you hanging out with him right now? That's me. I wish I could be more like Brody. Hashtag
more like Brody.
Hell yeah.
I totally agree.
Hell yeah.
Brody's a great guy.
We got Bob. We got Brutal Bob Evans, Coach Bob Evans coming up. Wrestle Life. He's going to talk about the Wrestle Life. He's got a discount coming up to the end of the month. 50% off his Wrestle Life. Really tells you about if you're a professional wrestler. Maybe you want to be a healthy second income on a side hustle. Maybe you're struggling and don't want to lose money on the road. Welcome to the Wrestle Life, where the independent wrestlers figure out their wrestling business to the wrestling business. So it's going to be great to talk to Coach Bob Evans. He's been here at the Santino Brothers Wrestling Academy actually multiple times to do seminars. And he has got a plethora of knowledge. So he'll be on shortly, hopefully within the next 5 minutes or so. And we'll talk to him a little bit. We started this podcast, right? Brand awareness. We always talk, right? We talk about that in the online course starting January 25th. We talk about the brand awareness.
And where can we find this?
SantinoBrothers.net. Check it out. You can sign up for the online course. All of our physical in-ring training right now, we're on hiatus. We are optimistic about opening up. I am optimistic about opening up probably summertime. I think about a week ago, I was saying I'm optimistic about late fall, early summer. Now I'm looking about summertime, possibly even fall. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Maybe things will change January 20th. Because you know what January 20th is?
Is that your birthday?
That is my fucking birthday. But you know what else?
Is that your question right there?
You know what else it is?
What is it?
Martin Luther King Day. No. But you know what else it is?
What is it?
What is it?
The inauguration.
All right.
Yes. Joe Biden is going in. So I don't know. Right? Everything's really political. Maybe things will start changing. I don't know.
We'll see.
I think we're going to close the fuck down once Joe Biden takes office for minimum
6 weeks.
Yeah, minimum of 6 weeks.
Well, how much more of a close down do you think?
I think California's going to probably do exactly what we've been doing. I think the rest.
County.
LA County, but I think the rest of the country is going to probably be in a bit of a shell shock.
They're going to go batshit crazy.
Doing what LA County has been doing. So we'll see what happens, but maybe that'll be on the road to recovery. Hopefully.
Right.
Hopefully. So, and then on the road to recovery
we
means
are the worst, aren't we, in the nation or no?
Yeah, on the road to recovery means what? Back to fucking wrestling school. Santino Brothers Wrestling. Am I wrong or what?
No.
Yeah.
I definitely feel the
100%.
The urge,
So, but yeah, so if you guys have any questions for Brutal Bob Evans, make sure to go ahead and hit us up in the comments section. We have our producer Jezebel over there.
Hello.
And she'll be reading off the questions if anybody has any questions.
I have a question with this.
You have a question?
Software, yes.
What software?
The software you're using.
What are you talking about software? This is just how it is, brother.
Okay, can you add the website to the comment section?
It's right there, isn't it? Oh, in the comments? Yeah, of course. Look, I can do this right now. Look at
I figured out how to do comments without Facebook.
And is it clickable?
We have Gino Told You So is in the house. And let me tell you about Gino. Bob says hi, Jezebel.
Hi.
Gino Told You So from New Mexico. Off the Ropes Pro Wrestling School he's got going on in New Mexico. Training the guys the right way, showing them how to do it, taking his teachings from Santino Brothers Wrestling and all over that Gino has been. I'm so proud of Gino, and it's like a lot of wrestlers. And
everyone's very proud of Gino.
Even me, myself, right? You go through these lulls in wrestling, and you come down, and Gino has been able to go through the ups and downs and the waves and actually figure out how to do it in pro wrestling, and he's doing so great. And I remember we told him, get boots. Man, next thing you do, he's got 3 pairs of boots, you know?
Right. Very coachable.
Yeah, definitely very coachable. But you know what? It's 8 o'clock, 6 o'clock. We usually do it at 8 o'clock. but it's 6:00 and we have the man of the hour in the house right now. So we're gonna go ahead and bring in Coach Brutal Bob Evans, Hangs with Bob of the Wrestle Life. Brutal Bob Evans has coached so many people. He's got a plethora of knowledge coming into this right here. So we're just really glad to have Brutal Bob on, and we're gonna go ahead and bring him into the room. What's going on, Bob? How are you, my friend?
Hi guys, how you doing? I'm on the road here in
Can we
Massachusetts.
hear him? We can't. Oh, you know what? Maybe I can't hear him because I don't have my shit together yet.
Oh,
Yeah.
How you doing, Bob?
Is that better? Can you hear me now? I'm here. I can hear you.
Let's see. We're having a little bit of technical. Turn that one off, Sil. We're gonna see if we can find him a different way.
Bob looks like he's driving.
No, I know, Bob. It definitely is driving right now. We started the podcast a lot earlier, and so now we're gonna see if we can get our
sound going.
Yeah, our sound going, man. We haven't had this problem yet, so
like I say, we're still learning it.
Okay, Eli says we can hear him.
All right.
Yeah, everybody can. It's only it's us. So there we go. Now I think we can hear.
Hello. Here. Testing.
You know. Sometimes, Bob. There we go, Bob. You know, sometimes, Bob, it's always the simplest things. It's
good.
You're on mute.
Can you hear me now?
So, all right, Brutal Bob, I can hear you now. So great to have you on right now. And just great to have you on. Hey, when you hit me up and when I said, hey, I definitely would love to have you on the podcast. Just really what we're trying to do is just do a little bit of brand awareness. And I know you definitely are trying to do the same thing. And you've got your Hangs with Bob. You got your Hangs with Bob seminar, and you're also doing something else called the Wrestle Life, correct?
Absolutely, yeah, man. I'm doing brand new. I'm getting a little bit of an echo. Is that you, me, or what? Oh, it's gone now. There we go.
Oh, okay, good. Is it gone?
All right. It's gone. There we go.
All right, good.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we got. Right, I can hear you loud and clear, my friend.
All right. Well, just to let you know, dear viewers, they did this for me because I'm on the lame East Coast, and we go to bed a lot earlier than you guys. So that's why you guys are starting early, and I appreciate you going early for me. But I just wanted to let you know, yeah, man, I'm doing a lot of cool stuff now, and I hope you guys are doing well. You guys doing well in the lockdown over here, or what? You guys still running practices? And I see you doing a lot of stuff online, so that's great.
You know, we've been, our hands have been tied, and we've been doing everything online as of right now. The actual physical training right now is on hiatus. So we're just kind of playing the waiting game right now and just trying to figure out different things that we can do and working on different avenues like the podcast, the online course that we have. That's been going well. I've been doing that since September here for Santino Brothers. And I've been asking myself and even Mongo, and I said, why haven't we been doing these online classes before? Because sometimes when the ring is there, at least for me as coach, I'm like, everybody needs to be in the ring and do ring work. But not all training happens in the ring. A lot of it happens outside of the ring. I remember we had William Regal here, and he did a 5-hour seminar, and I don't think anybody got in the ring. Maybe at the end, right? Yeah, maybe at the end. So that's what we've been doing, Bob. Just been doing that, and great having you on today to talk about what you've been doing and everything going on with you on the East Coast. And especially absolutely the Wrestle Life also.
Yeah, it's I started this new thing. As you know, I'm a perfect example of what you just talked about, Joey, because I last time I went, first time we did pretty much most of it, 80% of it was in ring, and then the second time I came to see you in 2019, you told me, you said, I don't care if we get in the ring. We'll set up chairs around, we'll sit on the mats, and I just want you to teach these kids the rest of it, the outside the ring stuff. And I said, are you sure? And you're like, yeah, man, just do that. And so that's what we did. We did it for 3-4 hours and did our thing. And really that's been the frustration that we're all dealing with is how do we get ahead in the pandemic? How do we get ourselves ready? And I've been planning this for years. I just finally got the kick in the butt to do it. I was talking to my buddy Mike Kane, another guy from Massachusetts, and Mike and I were just kind of talking, and I talked to him for about 2 hours, and I'm just yelling at him. I said, man, I really wish I could put this together, and I have so many ideas, and I really wish I could put together like a master class, like something that teaches like, you know, kind of like a bone, like a fish bone, like a blueprint of how to do all this stuff, like the non-wrestling stuff. I can teach the in-ring stuff, and I teach it really well, but not a lot of people are teaching the other stuff, the business end of it, how to make money with merchandise, how to market yourself, how to do sales, how to get more yeses from promoters than no's and stuff like that. So Mike all of a sudden was quiet on the phone on the other end of the line, and I said, "Are you okay? You know, you're not as talkative." He's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." So about a half an hour after I hung up with him, I get an email from Mike Kane, and he goes, "Here's your outline. What's your excuse now?" So he called me out, and he told me, he sent me the outline of the whole class, and then we went to his business park, and we taped it right in a conference room at his business office in Cape Cod, Massachusetts, and we did it over 3 weekends and got it done. It's about 4.5, 5 hours. And then now I have a whole bunch of other stuff in there too, a whole bunch of different interviews and podcasts, and I'm going to have you on eventually too. So I want both of you guys on, and we'll kind of do this back and forth, and really just kind of picking the brains of people that know stuff that I don't know or can explain it better than I can, or people that can help me confirm my point about doing this stuff, and kind of just establishing a big online presence, kind of like a big mall where you can walk in and pick out what you want, a big grocery store of knowledge of in-ring, out-of-ring, all kinds of stuff. You know, I even have a guy who did a 15-minute deal on gear, and what kind of gear and how to buy gear and who to buy it from and how to measure and all that stuff. So we're going from soup to nuts here, man. And yeah, it's been really good. We got some early members in the you know, we haven't really even technically opened up yet. We actually launched officially. The grand opening is February 1st. So, but we're doing you know, we're letting people in now to check it out, take a look at it. And it's awesome, man. Yeah, it's been a really good experience. And finally we got it rolling, and I'm so excited about it. You know, it's just going to be, we all of us should have been doing this online stuff sooner. And now we're jumping on, and well, now we're doing it. So we don't have any excuses now.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that right? I try, and it's really hard, Bob. I try to look at the bright side of things and saying, right, just the same thing I told you, right? Why haven't we been doing this online stuff sooner? You know, and it's just great to hear that you're actually already doing it. You're getting it going, and it's just making you, right? COVID and the lockdown and the quarantine has forced us to figure out different ways.
Think outside the box.
Yeah, figure out different ways to think outside the box. And I'm glad that you've been doing that, because you're a great coach, and it's just really been forcing us to kind of think, what else can we do? How come we haven't been doing podcasts? At least that's what I'm asking myself, Bob. You know, and so yeah, it's really forcing us to think right outside the box and what can I do? You know,
right? Yeah. Well, I feel like sometimes life in general, and you're doing this all the time, and you're just going and going. You really never stop and think about it and be creative, because it's wrestling is a lot. You know, it doesn't stop. There's no seasons. There's no breaks. If you get 20 to 40 students, those, like, you're kind of like their manager, their trainer, and they call you up for everything, and you got to be there, and it never stops. You know, so you really don't have that time to think and be creative, write it down, and then start executing it. And with COVID, that it forced us to stop.
Yeah.
You know?
And with my end, and I'm glad you guys brought that up, because one of the things that actually was the big spark for this, and now I already had the idea to do some sort of a masterclass or a membership, but what really solidified for it was I almost lost everything in 2019, because in 2018 I had made the decision to go pro, but what happened, you know, to go fully pro, you know, just do wrestling. But the problem is, for me, that was actually really bad, because then it put pro wrestling in a different category for me. It made it a job for me, and wrestling was never a job for me. Even when I do it a lot, I do wrestling a ton. I wrestle part-time, quote unquote, more than some people do full-time. We've toured, we've gotten to 42 states now, 3 provinces of Canada. The UK tour got canceled this year, but we were ready to go do that. And so, but I needed to hold a job, because if I didn't hold some kind of a job, or at least put wrestling, I can work on wrestling 90 hours a week, but if I have to call it part-time, like a part-time side hustle, what happened was it left me with too much time. I don't do well with structure, and my gambling addiction got a lot worse. Thank God for the grace of God and a lot of people that helped me. I got 702 days no gambling, but it was something that was really, cool, great, one day at a time as usual, but the issue was that I was 11 days in when I visited you, 11 days in the last time we were there. Because I remember I was 10 days in. I wrestled Sledge the next day, and Sledge, as you know, has dealt with a lot of that stuff. So he was like, brother, just do it one day at a time. So, I was 10 days in to this 702 days. So you can know that's the last time we saw each other in person. So, but what happened was I needed to figure out a way to balance wrestling and everything else. And I think 95% of who we're going to deal with on the independents, not the national stars, but pretty much everybody else does wrestling as either just a fun weekend warrior thing, or a side hustle where they might actually make some money at it, but they also have a wife, a kid, responsibilities, a job, and some people have a job they really like and they don't necessarily want to wrestle all the time. So one of the things I say, that's why I call it the wrestle life. It's all one word, because it's not wrestling, it's not life, it's the wrestle life. And for people that are in this business, they understand that you have a lot of stuff to balance. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to teach you how to make as much money as possible. And we all know it's not about money. We'd all do it for free. But if we're going to do it for free, we might as well make money at it. That's always been my adage the past 5 or 6 years. I should have learned a long time ago. So the way I look at it is I don't think we need to be broke or in pain or, beat our kids or be bad to our wife or cheat on her. I think we can be good, honorable people that have good relationships outside of wrestling, but still have a great wrestling career at the same time. And that's really what I'm trying to teach people, because one of the biggest complaints I get is I want to wrestle more, but my wife is really upset with me taking time away from the family. So one of the things I try to do is I try to help people with that, and I try to balance it out. And if it's not a wife, it's, my mother or my parents, they don't see me around anymore, or my cousins, whatever, I don't see my niece or my nephew. I've heard it all. So now I try to make it where you can balance it and try to have kind of a little bit of everything, balance it out, because I think wrestling is awesome, but I think a lot of us have given so much of our bodies to wrestling, we lose ourselves in the process and we make ourselves all about wrestling. I think we can make it where we can have an awesome wrestling career, do everything as much as we want to in it, but kind of be your own brand and kind of run your own store, so to speak, and then have a life too, have a family, have a life, and have interests outside of wrestling.
Yeah, it's great that you say that, because I remember years ago where I broke into business with my Uncle Supreme, who sadly passed away 6 months ago.
Oh,
and yeah, thank you, brother. And I remember always talking to him and saying hey, let's how do we get to WWE? When we broke in, we didn't have a school or anything like that. And it was how do you do it? How does this happen? And I remember talking to him and saying so if Vince McMahon came to you with a contract right now, you wouldn't take it? And he said no. And I go, get the fuck out of here. I did tell him, I was like, get the fuck out of here. And he goes, I got a wife, I got a kid, I got a job, and I like what I'm doing. Yep. And I totally always thought for so many years, oh man, that's bullshit, right? That's the easy out, right? Then I started the wrestling school and I realized people come into this wrestling school for all different reasons. Some people want to be, want to wrestle in New Japan. Some people want to be at WrestleMania. Some people just want to do it. Some people just want to just say, I don't want to live life with woulda, coulda, shoulda. And that was hard for me to comprehend when I was 22 years old. You have to go to the big time. You have to want to go to the big time. And I know there's so many guys out there that even say it. If you're not doing this to be the world champion, you should stop doing it. But I don't believe that. I believe what you believe, Bob. I believe that hey, you can do it. You can want to be the world champion and still have your other life. You don't have to put everything you do in on wrestling, because that's how I've done it. Everything is wrestling for me. And I feel wow, I need a little bit of balance. And I love that what you're doing is you're telling guys that it's okay to have a balance. It's okay to have your home life, your wife life, your kid life, your job life, and still do wrestling and still become the main event champion.
Everyone's
Yeah.
goal in wrestling, they're different, and you can't force them to be the way you want them to be.
Yeah, and the thing is too, it's like we got, I also think that I'm grateful to all my old school trainers, man. I was trained by some original Killer Kowalski guys, and they beat the shit out of me sometimes, and they were there for me. Like, I don't really have any horror stories aside from I saw more horror stories from other people that weren't training me directly. I saw some of that, and I've heard like some crazy stuff, man. Like people getting beat up, people getting like punched in the face for real, and some kind of a test, and like not the normal hazing stuff, like just like cruelty. And then I've heard people say, well, if like you guys said, oh, you're a mark if you just do this for fun or whatever. And I'm like, look, man, I said, I'm not saying I want to do this just for fun. I'm saying I want to do this, have fun. And I had a guy, Jack Parker. I'm going to put the video up online. This is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Jack Parker, I met Jack Parker because he was one of the most honorable guys I've ever met. Jack Parker, actually from Arkansas. Jackie, I hope you're watching. He booked me twice for shows in Arkansas. Both of them fell through. He sent me my full rate. And Joey, my rate. That's not 50 cents. He gave me my full rate both times in advance. And he refused to take the second time I tried to give the money back to him. I said, dude, this isn't your fault. One time it was a cancellation one time it was snow, one time it was something else. He's like, I'm so sorry. And he's like, I'm going to send you your full rate. We honor our rates around here. And I said, dude, all right, you gave me like big boy money. So I'm going to give you the big boy training. So then he and I worked together for the next year. This guy used to go out 3 shows a weekend, make $15 each day on merchandise. He went to one show last week in Missouri with 45 paid customers and did $810 in merchandise. No toys, no Stone Cold Steve Austin ripoff stuff. It was all his merchandise. He sold, and I'll tell you how. I'll break it down for you. Sold $520 of t-shirts and pictures. His wife took an order for $210 of screen printing, and he did 4 $20 pre-order shirts for a shirt he hadn't even created yet. So that's a guy who's figuring it out. By the way, he travels with his wife. His wife is his business manager. She doesn't wrestle. She's not a manager or anything, but she's his business manager. She runs a table and all that. And I said, well, dude, this isn't typical. I can't talk about this. He goes, yeah, but why don't you talk about the $150 a show I make average every single time I'm out there because of you. So he does do that. So this guy's doing, and he wrestled 50 times last year because he was down south. So he wrestled a lot. This guy made $7,000 in merchandise. This is a guy who has a job. He works in the medical field. He's a nurse. He oversees nurses. He's an office manager. His wife's in nursing. This is a guy who provides a good service. He likes his job. He has a wife, a kid. He's very happy with his real life. Likes to kick back, have a beer with the guys on Sunday or whatever, watch a football game. But he'll go out and he's serious about it. He lifts weights. He's a big, strong guy. He's very professional. He has nice gear. He's very good with promoters, very good with wrestlers. He's a good hand in the ring. And this is a guy who's figured it out where he can make almost as much on the weekend as he does on his regular job. So he's pretty much doubling his life income after 30xing his wrestling income. And I'm not saying it was just because of me, because I've given tons of people that advice. A lot of them think I'm nuts or don't do it, or they just lazy. And he went ahead and he jumped right into it, man. And he's doing great for himself. So, and I have a ton of people that are doing that. A lot of promoters that work with me, they do 2-3 times the business. And they just promote a show once a month and they go home and they just have some money and they either invest it into the next show or they spend some on their kids. I said, look, even if wrestling just gives you a trip to Disney, even if wrestling just pays your car payment, you use your car for wrestling, hey, make it pay your car payment. Put some money away in a mutual fund. Do something with it. But don't pretend that we all have to be broke and bad people and, like we all have to be carnies that steal from the promoter. And you can be people who are good people of service and treat this business like every other business. For some reason, the mentality has been that the wrestling business is so different from everybody. The wrestling business is no different from any other business, except that we're about 30 years behind the times on 90% of this. None of this stuff I say, if I walked into any other business, would it be, oh my God, that's so revolutionary. We should sell merchandise at shows. We should be nice to promoters. We should offer ourselves in service, give them something for free first before we ask for money. Nowhere else in pretty much any other business is that crazy. In wrestling, you're a mark, you're an idiot, you're a fucking moron for trying to do that. And then all I do is I roll over and I just cash in. I've given more stuff away for free, and I've made thousands. So tell me where that begins and ends. And the thing is, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm ranting. I'm yelling at you. You say stuff now.
No, all good, brother. We love it. Not just yelling at us. Bob is dropping
Joey, you know how I get. Joey, you know how I get. You know how I get, Joe.
Yeah,
I believe it's lack of confidence and people not believing in themselves and saying, who's going to buy my t-shirt?
Right on.
But I would say if you go out there and you perform well and you sit at your merchandise table and you connect with them by not being on your phone, you got to pay attention because they're your customers. Yep. So when they come up to your table and they pick up your t-shirt, they want to hear a story. They want to be acknowledged. That's why they're there. They're there at wrestling shows to spend money. So if they walk up to your table and you pay attention to them, you talk to them, you treat them right, they're going to buy your merchandise. But if you have your head down, you're just on your phone, kind of arrogant, they're going to pick up your t-shirt, put it back down, and just walk away. And it's customer service. Yeah. But you kind of don't think about that in professional wrestling. You're just a guy that does body slams and drop elbows, but it's a whole lot more. Especially today, you got to learn social media and all this other stuff. You got to have some kind of brains to be a professional wrestler.
Yeah, I sit there and I look and I'll walk by a table and the guy walk up to me and he'll go, Uncle Bob. I'm Uncle Bob to half the business now. So he says, hey, Unc, what can I do to sell more merch? I said, stand up at your table, stand in front of your table if you can. It'll freak everyone out, but stand in front of your table. And I said, if you can't stand in front of your table, if that's too much, then stand behind your table and elevate your shirts, hang your shirts up at eye level. The guy said he was up 50% the rest of the year. I said, this is stuff that I learned in retail. This isn't even stuff I learned in wrestling. Like if you ever been at a college campus or the mall or a ball game and you see the people at the credit card, the credit card, oh, would you like to sign up for a credit card today and we'll give you a free t-shirt or something? Where are they? They're standing up and they're in front of their table and they have the stuff in their hands. Why would you do it any differently? I learned from other businesses, man. It's best practices. Mongo, you nailed it, man. There is such insecurity in wrestling. That's why you hear, like, Joey, I know where you're coming from, man. When you yell, man, it's out of love, not hate. And it's all like you have respect, but you respect these people enough to tell them the truth. I got no issues with that. But these guys that just yell and scream to hear themselves think, I got no time for you. I pay them no mind. And the thing is, they're beating down these kids. Like, who would want to buy a shirt of yours? And I turn around and I whisper in his ear, I go, who wouldn't want to buy a shirt of yours? You put an N and an apostrophe T at the end of that sentence, and that turns the whole thing around. Why wouldn't they? If they believe in you and you're a great babyface or a hell of a heel that puts on a hell of a show, and you're like not a cool heel, but like it's cool to hate you, and it's like, man, that was a great show. We all know the business has changed. Oh man, I was screaming at you. You really giving it back to me. Man, you guys put on a heck of a show. Oh, thank you very much. And you're not best friends with him as a heel, but you're like, oh, thank you, And I go, yeah, look, man, we got to make a living. We got to give these people a hell of an experience. That's why I get mad when I see highlight videos of guys doing moves in a dirty ring. Like these indie guys do moves from 50 miles away on a hard cam in front of a dirty ring. I said, you're a worse version of what they see on TV, even if you're not, because you want to draw mainstream fans to your wrestling show. Because wrestling fans at a local wrestling show is, when you see those 42 people at a show, those are your wrestling fans in the show. The mainstream fans are the 150 that fill up behind them that rotate through every show. And that's what you want, because those are the people that are going to buy your merchandise every time. So that's what people don't understand. So you wrestle for the mainstream. You don't wrestle for the 42 people that want to see you do a dive. I laugh when I see these shows and they go, oh, the whole crowd was standing up. No, they weren't. There were 8 people standing up. The other 200 were sitting there like this with their arms folded. They didn't care. So I said, why are you paying attention to the 8 and not the 200? I said, they didn't do nothing for you because you did a dive. To me, it looks like a stupid asshole. Like if my father saw that, he'd like, that stupid asshole, why'd he jump out of the ring? That's dumb. Who would jump out of a perfectly good ring, like Honky Tonk Man says? Like, why would he do that? What if the guy moved? He'd fall on his head. Why would he do that? That's stupid. Like, that's what my dad doesn't watch wrestling. He'd be like, that's dumb. So I look at it like, why you got to wrestle for the mainstream. I'm not asking people to sell out and, like be like corporate or anything. It's not what I mean. But if you have a crowd there, give them a great experience. Give them something where, like Mongo said, just connect with you. Like, man, like, you've said it perfectly in 2 sentences, brother. I can't say it any shorter than you did. Like, that was perfect, man. You're the smartest guy I've ever met. So, like, geez, you know, Joey, listen to this man. He knows what he's talking about. You've been talking nonsense all these years. This guy's a smart guy. He's the brains behind your brawn.
Absolutely, Monk. Yeah, right. Look at all the logos. Logo right here on my shirt. Logo on my hat. Logo on Jim Morrison. I mean, that's all Mongo. I just wanted to wrestle.
I think we both just wanted to wrestle. But we had to evolve. We had to learn. You know, we were just 2 young guys just trying to figure out the business.
I love that you bring the fact up that you give away all of your information for free and you make money off of it, right? Right. People will say, like, right, don't get right. When I was coming up too, Bob, like I remember, right? I think we came up about the same time, mid-90s or something. I came out 94.
Yeah, I got you by 2 years, but really I didn't get rolling until about 94. So it's probably pretty
okay.
Even, so yeah.
There you go. So and it was you had to keep everything kayfabe. Right. You couldn't get right. You had to be protective with your information. If there was a new guy, oh, he's not even worthy. I don't know who he is of my information. And I love that you bring that up. That I give everything out there. And Mongo always says it, right? You give them all the information, they don't do anything with it. You know, the smart ones actually apply themselves to it and do something with it, right?
Massive action.
And that's where you can take the chance right now. You go to thewrestlelife.com. And they got you have a 50% discount off right now, right, Bob?
Yeah, because we're doing our this is all like I wanted people to go in and kind of break it and see what it's, you know, go in and smash it up and see if I screwed up, because I'm putting a lot of it together myself. You know, I'm using this site called Kajabi, which is awesome, which really, they do 90% of the work, but I'm filling in the blanks and doing what I got to do. And, you know, I've gone back to school. I've gone to a whole like online marketing school deal, and no scams, no nothing. This is all real, man. Like no multi-level. I'm not going to sell you vitamins, like nothing. You know, I tell people that I think people think I'm going to sell them Amway or something when they come in, like just because I'm so friendly. And I'm like, yeah, I'll just give you, what do you need? Like, you want to know how to promoters will book you better? Here, do this. You know, I just remember 2 years ago, man, when I walked into you and I just said, hey man, you want me to work with one of your guys at the show? I'll do it for nothing. I don't care. You know, are you like, I can't pay you? I'm like, I didn't ask for any money. I don't have to pay you. Well, you paid me enough for the seminar, and even if you didn't, I'm here. I might as well do something. Like, I don't care. You know, like if there's something on the floor, if there's a broom standing there and the floor is dirty and there's no one standing around, sweep the floor. Like, God, man, like, do we really need to have these lessons? But yeah, I'm doing 50% off right now because we're right before the grand opening. We got about 16 days before we open up for realsies. And it's going to be $49 a month. Still very much worth it. Don't get me wrong. $49 a month for members. But right now we're offering it at $25 a month. And I promise you guys are going to super dig this. Not only do we have my blueprint that I was talking about, we have all the notes I've taken over the past 5 years. I've condensed those into about 8 pages, and I put those on there too. I have 8, actually 11 now, but I have 8 done where me and my buddy Wildman Congo, Mike Medina, we're there and we watch a match with you. It's a watch along, right? And we watch the match either on the WWE Network or YouTube, and it's me and Congo, and you can't see the match obviously for copyright reasons, but we tell you when to play it and the whole thing. And it's kind of like a DVD commentary. We say, now watch this. Watch Yokozuna and Bret Hart in a cage. Watch this finish. This is a Pat Patterson finish. And we kind of tell you, watch how Yokozuna, you know, he sells, but he doesn't bump. Watch how he protects his size. Watch how Bret takes care of him. Watch how, you know, and then we point out everything. We just kind of talk you through it. Like, if Bret Hart and Yokozuna, you know, I'm not going to say I'm them, but if it's like 2 senior guys were sitting in the crowd watching a match with like, and Bret Hart and Yokozuna said, hey, Bob and Mike, teach these guys like what we're trying to teach them in the ring while we're doing it. We do our best to translate that to the young people so they can use the matches they watched as fans, they can now use as peers, as wrestling people. So that's one of the coolest things we've done. My tag team partner, Tim Hughes, and I did 2 classes on social media. The 5 do's of social media, like Mongo explained before, social media is so important, and the 5 don'ts of social media. So the 5 things that we see that people are doing really well, and the 5 things we see that people aren't doing very well. And I have interviews. I just interviewed a 90-minute interview with the most successful promoter in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. This guy does between 400 and 600 paid a show and turns 100 to 200 people away every single time. He has VIP matches that draw more than most of the shows that I'm around all the time. He's extremely successful. And the first show he did, he made a big speech in French, and I didn't know what he was talking about. And he said, "You changed my mindset 5 years ago, and here we are today. This sellout is for you." And he dedicated the whole show to me. I'm almost very emotional just talking about it. So he's become a very dear friend of mine. So we have all kinds of stuff in there, man. It's all great content. It all premieres on therestoflife.com first. We'll give you a few bits and pieces here and there. I'm always happy to put something out there for free so you guys can watch it, and we'll give you a nice sample. And like I said, if you want to just jump in for a month at 25, and hey, not for me, or I took what I needed out of it, I'm all set, ready to go, you can cancel. Just remember, it goes back to $49, and it's eventually I think it's going to go up to $99 or $199 a month, because it's going to be worth every penny. It's going to be a finishing school of wrestling. It's going to be everything you need to know. And by the way, I'll announce this here because I announced it one other place, but you get it for the West Coast exclusive. Kevin Kelly, the former WWE on NXT and AEW, Kevin had a lot to do with that. He taught a lot of those boys at Ring of Honor how to talk. So Kevin's going to do a full promo class, because Kevin taught me how to talk too. So, and Kevin's one of my best friends. His son is my godson. We spent a lot of time together. So Kevin's going to give you his class. So you're going to have a whole Hangs with Bob experience, but it's going to be Hangs with Kevin and do promos. And like I said, this is a guy who teaches people how to do $1 million promos. So you have all that to look forward to. And by the way, my ring hasn't even opened up yet. So when we do the in-ring stuff, now we're going to do the in-ring stuff too. And Joey, I can do the in-ring stuff too. So it's just going to keep coming, man. The content is just going to keep rolling out, and it's going to be worth every penny. I am super, as you can tell, I'm super excited about it. So
nice. I always wish, and I came up with my Uncle Supreme. We had access to a ring. We didn't have a trainer. We had somewhere, obviously, Craze showed us how to do some stuff, right? We didn't have a school or anything. And the one thing we always thought about was, how do we do this in wrestling? How do we make this possible? And I wish there was a guy like Bob around. I wish there was the Wrestle Life around, because Supreme and I were always in our head, if we could find, I don't know why it was George the Animal Still, but in our head, the light bulb went off. If we could find George the Animal Still, he could show us the ways on how to do this. And you have it right now with Brutal Bob Evans and the Wrestle Life. All right. There's so many wrestlers out there that they went to wrestling school. They know how to do the moves. They know how to do a match and everything like that. But what do I do next? Where do I go? How do I up my level? How do I up my gate? How do I up my t-shirt sales? Right here with Brutal Bob Evans, the Wrestle Life. Incredible. And I totally wish that was available to me when I was coming up. I would have been all about it. Well, we do have
actually this question for Bob.
Oh, Bob, we got my wife right here, Jezebel. She's our producer, so she's got some questions here.
Hi, Jezebel. Hi.
Hello. Okay, Hulk and Body has a couple of business questions. The first one is, how do you create an LLC as an indie worker, and what does it entail?
Well, I'm not a corporate lawyer, but I can tell you that to create an LLC, really all you have to do is you have to get your business number, your IEN number, which is free. You can get it from the government. Just look it up, Google it. Don't go through a service. Just do it right through I think it's the IRS. Just go right through the IRS. It's free. I think it's almost immediate. You fill it out and you get it within a minute or a day. I forget. There's a few things they do instantaneously, and there's a few things they do pretty quickly. Okay, so that's easy. The rest of it, you can actually either hire a lawyer. I know our buddy Ebony Blade, Eric has offered to, he stopped by the last time I was there. You can look him up online and tell him I sent you or Joey sent you, and Eric's offered to counsel people on that and at a reasonable rate. Or you can do it on a site like LegalZoom, and they do it for you too. It's really not all that tough. Just figure out which one you want to do. You can also open up as a sole proprietor too and just write it off on your taxes directly. There's no issues with that. There's not a lot of right now in LLC. I don't know if you'd need it unless you were running shows, because there's more liability with running live events. But if you're just doing wrestling, I mean, I wouldn't overly worry about it. But if you want to do it as a business and you want to do that, that's fine. But you can also just be a sole proprietor too, which is literally just like, hey, I'm running, and you go get a checking account and you kind of just prove to the government that you're a DBA, So, so that's pretty much how that goes. And again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not any kind of a tax accountant, but that's pretty much how it is. And it's pretty easy to do. You can also just Google, how do I do an LLC? And probably LegalZoom will probably pop up in one of the Google ads up top. and just click on them, and they'll give you the information. So it's pretty low. I mean, it's probably cost you $1,000 by the time you're done, but then it's done. So, I mean, it could cost more, it could cost less. It depends on which state you're in. So,
and that's another thing you want to check out too. What state? I know in California it's $800 a year, kind of automatically, on
Right.
top of another $25 for the Secretary of State.
That's
But
for
every
LLC.
yeah, that's for LLC. So every state's a little
Right.
different. If you live in Las Vegas, you're not going to be paying those $825 taxes.
yeah, Nevada's cheaper. Delaware's cheaper. That's why you see a lot of people have that. But you have to have like some kind of a PO box or something in there.
Correct.
You can do that if you want. That's fine. I know Massachusetts, I think it's like 400 or 600. I haven't done it in a while, so I couldn't look at, I didn't look into it right away. But yeah, so that's how that's done. So I hope that helps. But sole proprietorship will get you going for now, and that's easy. Just you can look up sole proprietorship, but it's pretty much, if you've ever delivered a newspaper, you're a sole proprietorship. So, I hope that answers your question.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
You have any
You're
more?
welcome.
I have one more for
Oh,
you.
Phil's got another one.
Okay.
Jezebel.
Also from Halston Body, how easy is it to trademark a character name?
A character name, they'll do a trademark search, and if it's free and clear, you can do it. And you might also might be able to get a trademark if it's another name used in business, but used for a completely different business. Like if you're, whatever, the Barbarian Guy or whatever, and there's a Barbarian Guy restaurant, then you're not really trading in the same business. So you could probably get that through. But again, you're going to have to do the homework on that. And again, I sound like I have a legal Zoom account or something where I get paid, but they're just the easiest one to do if you don't want to hire a lawyer. Obviously, you can just hire a lawyer and get this done too, but it's going to be more money. So it depends on what your budget is. If I had a few bucks, if I were you and I had some money, I would just hire a local lawyer and get it done. It'll cost you a little more money, but they'll cover all their P's and Q's. So it's not going to be crazy. Yeah, it's not going to be crazy. So
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Awesome.
Sure.
So we have Brutal Bob Evans of Hangs with Bob and the Wrestle Life on with us right now. I was just telling him about how if Brutal Bob was around for me, man, that would have been it, right? Just really showing you the way, right? Selling merch. Jezebel here, right? I was a wrestler at XPW. Jezebel was the merch girl. I had no clue how much chaos was selling until years later when Sylvia or Jezebel told me how much money was generated. I had no clue about merchandise. I had no clue about upping anything or making more money or figuring out, I'm getting paid $25. That sucks. I had no idea on how to make more money, and you have it right here with Brutal Bob Evans and the Wrestle Life.
As a young wrestler, invest in yourself.
Yeah.
Right? You have to invest in yourself. When guys don't want to do seminars or, do certain things, it's like, come on, guys, you're a small business. Treat yourself like a small business, and small businesses have to buy tools. If you're a restaurant, you're buying pots and pans. In your case, this would be one of those situations you need for your small business. To learn, you're going to learn such a learning curve. What you're going to learn with Bob, it might take you by yourself more than 10 years to learn. Right? Just one little technique is a game changer. Right, one little nugget.
Right, exactly. And the thing is, too, I tell people, you can't. There's a really big guy on the speaking front. His name is Grant Baldwin, okay? And Grant Baldwin has an excellent way of saying this, because guys always ask me, and I had to kind of smack down a good friend of ours, Gino Told You So. I'll call him out right now, because Gino was actually in defense of somebody, but it came across bad because he's like, well, don't work for free. And I'm like, man, I worked for free at Ring of Honor in the beginning, and they paid me thousands later. Like, I was on pay-per-views. I was on, I've worked for free for a lot of people, and I've made money later. Like, I worked for free for Kevin Kelly once, and I got 17 WWF bookings out of it, paying $250 a piece. That's $4,000. Like, so it depends on everything you do, And Gino understood once I told him where I was coming from, and I understood once he told me where he was coming from. And it's a little bit of a private issue, but it was just something where we had to kind of come to some sort of an agreement. And I told him, I said, man, I said, know your worth is great when you put it in the right context, and you should know your worth. But the thing is, to most promoters around the country, you're not worth anything because they already have their own people. So how are you going to break through that window? Like, how are you going to, well, I'm a good wrestler. I'm a good worker. I know psychology. It's like, so I don't care. I don't know you. Like, and I'm not saying they're going to be mean about it, but I mean, it's a lot different if a guy comes in and says, hey, Joey, XYZ sent me. And, well, yeah, I know XYZ, but I don't know you. Well, yeah, man, can I have $50? I'll wrestle one of your guys and I'll make him look good. Well, no, I'm not paying you anything, but then the guy says, hey, can I come in? I'll help set up the ring, or I'll help clean up before. I'll work out with a couple of your guys to show I'll help you. I won't teach the guys, but I'll help you. If you need some demonstrated, I'll work with one of your guys. And then if you, at your student show, I'll wrestle them and I'll put them over. I'll make them look like $1 million. And then after that, will you use me or recommend me to somebody around here? That's a lot different than saying, oh, yeah, brother, I'm not rolling out of bed unless you give me $100. Like, well, then stay in bed, because it's stupid to do that. Like, there's no value. You got to look, even at Sam's Club and BJ's and all these places, they let you sample the nice lady putting all the cookie dough and stuff in the sample tin, and she lets you try it before they sell it to you. Like, you got to give people a sample of the product. I'm not saying be taken advantage of and drive 500 miles for free and get put in a battle royal and they abuse you and make you set up the ring and break it down all by yourself 50 times. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying, look, you have to be of some sort of service to show them how much you want to be a part of the company. And you know how independent wrestling is, man. Like, you get beaten 17 seconds on one show and 3 months later, you're the world champion of the independents. You know what I mean? Like, that's just how independent wrestling is, like, just the way it is. So you just got to hang in there and be a good spirit and just offer something first. Everybody's like, yeah, hey, man, I need somebody. Give me somebody in California who will book me. I'm not giving them your name because they didn't deserve it. I can give them your name all day. I only send people to you that I know are like, who can I help in California? Because that's a lot different question than saying, yeah, tag promoters. That's not tag promoters. Why would I? What am I, your secretary? Like, and why do they want to be bothered with this? Now I'm filling up their notifications with some guy I don't know. Like, I don't know. If I was a promoter, I wouldn't be too cool with that. I mean, I wouldn't be outraged or anything because some people do it. But who all knows people in Georgia that run promotions? A lot of people do. So ask around and don't be lazy on Facebook. Look, man, anybody can put that. That's so lazy. Like, don't expect other people to do the work for you. And when I do something like that and I say, hey, we're looking for shows to do in Kentucky, I've done that before where I've been like, yeah, we're looking for shows in Kentucky. We've already done a lot of groundwork and exhausted every lead. We've already messaged and talked to about 8 or 10 different promoters, and we're just not able to line things up. Does anyone have any other ideas? That's also a lot different. But I've also fucking helped for 8 years. I've helped people and put myself in service. So if I ask you for a favor, I hope you give it to me. But these guys, they want you to do everything for them first, man. They stand in front of the fireplace and go, how come you're not warm? And they don't even light a match. It's stupid. Like, it bothers me. So that's why I'm trying to teach these guys to not make those mistakes and say, look, you got to be a salesman. You got to walk in and give people a sample of your product. And you got to take care of that person. And they may not buy from you right away. You got to build a relationship with them, and not a fake relationship where you're like, yeah, I'm going to be nice to this guy until he books me, and then I'll be an asshole to him. No, that's not what I mean. I mean, you become their friend. You build a rapport with them. You see what they need, and you take care of them first. You serve the restaurant and give them the food first, and then you give them the bill. You don't give them the bill first. Hey, pay me if you want your food. This isn't McDonald's. This is a filet mignon. That's what you do. So you got to look at it like that. And I'm just, don't be there with your hand out to get something. Be there with a hand out to help,
And Bob, I think you make a fantastic point, right? I get it, right? Hot dog and a handshake, this, that, and the other. You, as a wrestler, with so many wrestling schools around, with so many wrestlers around, you have to do what you have to do to make it happen. And if you got to apply yourself and show up to a show and maybe offer your services for free to let them know what you can do, then that's what you got to do. I remember way back when, 20 years ago in XPW, Chris Hamrick, right? Chris Hamrick, we all knew who Chris Hamrick was from ECW. He wanted to be part of XPW. He didn't just say, hey, book me. He actually flew himself out and worked for free. He worked for free knowing he was going to work for free, but I think Rob actually paid him that day But he went in saying, I'm gonna fly myself out and I'm working for free just for the opportunity. And I think that's
Huge.
yeah, I think that's huge. And I think Bob brings out a great point. It's incredibly lost right now. It's so incredibly lost. Like if you want to be a comedian, you gotta go to open mic night. They're not gonna just pay you because you're funny. You know what I mean? You gotta pay your dues. And I get it, and I love that everyone says, hey, don't do anything unless you get paid. Know your worth. But what I always say to people that say know your worth, we do know your worth. You're worth a hot dog and a handshake. I mean, I'm not talking shit. I'm just being honest.
But I think this what happens too. I feel like they'll train hard in the ring.
Mhm.
Okay. They'll train harder on the physique, but they won't train hard on their marketing.
Right.
And I feel like there's 3 steps. You got to learn the wrestling, you got to build your body, but then you got to market yourself.
Mhm.
You got to fly yourself out there for free, like Bob said, to give them the sample. That's just the way it is.
The perfect example is, and I'm so glad I did this, because when I saw you in February of 2019, Joey, you actually gave me a great gift, and you don't even know you gave it to me, or you may remember it. I don't know. I mentioned it to you, but I know you got a lot going on, and you got your own life to deal with. Never mind mine. But I wanted to book a tour around California because my aunt and uncle live in San Diego. My aunt was very ill, and that was actually the last weekend that I saw her. And the cool part about it was that my parents live right down the street from me in Massachusetts, but they just happened to be on the West Coast the same time I was. So the whole family got to get together and eat a meal with my aunt and uncle and spend time with my aunt. And we kind of knew that would be the last day. So I had a reason to be out there anyway. And I didn't need to, but even if I didn't have a reason to be out there, and you gave me that great gift, and yeah, you were able to help afford to send me out. But I was like, hey, brother, I need all this, and I need a flight, and I need this. And then you go, well, I can't do that. And then 90% of the people go, oh, okay. What do you mean, okay? Joey wants me to come out there. He just can't do that. So make it easy for him to go out there. I said, okay, well, what if we do this, 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 and this? And we made it work. You make it work financially. I got paid well. I got paid well from everybody. But what I did is I worked 3 or 4 dates, stacked them all up on top of each other, used a couple of airline miles, and I put it all together. That's how you do it. So I still came home with money. I might not have come home with thousands, but I came home with hundreds. You just got to figure out a way to make it work, and I got the gift of getting to see my aunt and kind of saying my goodbyes without saying my goodbyes, if you know what I mean. And then, it was great. It was a great experience. And I'm so glad I got a chance to do that. And wrestling helped me like pay tribute to my aunt and say goodbye to her. And that was such a great gift. And, meeting you and being a part of your thing and that, just seeing you and seeing your guys, the show. And then, it's fun, man. Like this business should be fun. We should be having a blast and not feeling bad about having a blast. And for the jerks and the people that say, how come you make no money at this? Why are you doing this? You're a fool. I just want to shut those people up. Now, sometimes people say it out of love, like your mom or your wife or your husband. I understand that. And I don't want to shut them up. I just want to make them happy. But for the assholes that you work with in the warehouse, they go, hey, man, you still don't make no money at that. What are you doing? You're lousy. You're terrible. You know what? I do make money at that. In fact, brother, I make more money in 10 minutes than you made all day today. And then you just walk away, drop the mic and walk away, So that's
and the best part is,
yeah,
you're doing what you love, Bob.
Exactly. And you're taking care of your family by working the warehouse job for the health insurance or whatever. So this guy's got nothing on you now. Yeah, motherfucker, I did both of them. I lived my dream and I took care of my family. You got nothing on me. And that's what I want, man. I just want people to go right there. I did it all. I did it all. And I enhanced my income. I had a great life. I lived. And then like you said, Joey, at the end of their life, when they sit down and they, they're 60, 70, 80 years old and they're talking to their grandkids, they're like, yeah, grandpa used to wrestle. Oh my God, used to wrestle. Oh yeah, I had all kinds of fun. Let me show you these cool shows I did. And yeah, I used to make a little, some of the, I paid for this car that you see in this picture. I paid for that with my wrestling or whatever. You don't have to be a millionaire. And the thing is, I'm so sick of people saying you have to win the fucking belt at WrestleMania or you have to be a broke wrestler who's dead on pills or whatever. Like you and I have been around a long time, man. You've seen it just as much as I have. How many funerals have we been to? How many phone calls have we had? How many tears have we cried for these people? I don't want to do that anymore. We don't have to be like that. And a lot of that was the loneliness of the road that beat these guys up. So they had to take pills to feel better. They had to sleep with other women because they were lonely. They were empty inside. We don't have to be like that. You know, one of the things I tell the guys, oh, my wife always nags me because I go to wrestling. I said, have you ever thought of like making a weekend of it and take your wife with you? She doesn't have to go to wrestling if she doesn't like it. You put her up in a decent hotel. I teach people, by the way, how to stay in a nice hotel and not break the bank. So go in a nice hotel and put her up in a nice hotel. She gets to take a nice shower, a bath or whatever. She's ready for you when you come back. Maybe you do some husband-wife stuff, if you know what I mean. And you have a nice night and you can still do your wrestling. You come home with some money in your pocket. Hey, now we can have a nice drive home on Sunday. We can go do something you want to do, honey. We can go to a store you want to do. We can go to a museum, the park, whatever, do something with the kids. Whatever you want to do, my love, it's all on you, and we're not taking out of the household budget. And now you've turned it into a nice weekend out instead of my husband always walks away from wrestling. Wrestling is the mistress. He's probably flirting with girls. He's probably drinking, spending money all stupid. No, you know what I'm doing? And now she's going to have more respect for it because now she knows you come right back. You have money for her. And now you take her out for a nice late dinner or a nice breakfast on the way out or whatever. And you just live a nice life, man. Like it doesn't have to be, you don't have to be a piece of garbage. You can be a good person and like I said, live a good life, be fulfilled. We don't have to, you know, and that's a lot of the stuff I teach because I had to learn it the hard way. I lost a lot of relationships. I lost friends. I almost gambled myself right away from my family. I'm not doing it again. You know? So this is one of the things that I'm supposed to be teaching. And I'm a God guy. God told me to do this. And he told me to do it a long time ago and I didn't listen to him. So now I'm listening to him, you know. We're not a Christian organization. I'm just saying I try to be a good Christian person. I make my mistakes. I'm a hypocrite like everyone else. I just raise my hand and say I did it once in a while instead of everybody else denying it. I try to be a good person. And this is all real. This is all me. If you don't believe me, like I said, you come in for a month, you give me $25. I promise you, give you $25 worth. You don't have to stay. You can stay. You can get the stuff, leave,
And that's
whatever
a
you want.
steal.
You know, that is.
That's a
and if you
steal.
stay, if you stay, you get 25 forever. And like I said, my plan is to raise this thing up eventually to 99, 199. I'm going to start doing. Eventually, the plan is to do mastermind classes where I'm charging $5,000, and people are going to be throwing money at me because I'm going to have made people $100,000. And keeping their job and all this, man. My goal, Joey, is to make 1,000 wrestlers double their wrestling income before I'm done. That's my goal.
And you're going to do it, Bob. You're going to do it because of the attitude that you have, the positivity that you have. And I love what you're talking about. It's underrated. It's so fucking underrated. And we haven't even got to it. And we're coming to an end. I know we're almost at an hour, but we haven't even talked about the drives that Bob talks about, going on the drive, even when you're not freaking booked.
But there's
just getting on the drives, getting in the car, having the opportunity. And that's what I tell people. I'm doing that online class too, Bob. And I tell people sometimes as wrestlers, we don't have the opportunity to sit in the car with a mind like Brutal Bob Evans or Coach Chaos or Coach Bob or Coach Mongo. And we don't have the opportunity to drive to 4 hours to Vegas or 8 hours to San Francisco. And there's so much knowledge that's dropped and you don't even know about it. And I just wanted to bring that out because it's so underrated about how Bob talks about how giving the sample out first before you're asking for all this money and then doing the drives. Even when you're not booked, if you have an opportunity and room to sit in that car, you better be sitting in that car.
Guys, if you missed the golden nugget, Bob was telling you, like his California story, create a plan and then execute the plan. You got to have a goal. If you don't set a goal for yourself, you're just kind of in space. But if you set your goal, you take massive action, you're going to see results. The hardest thing is making the person believe in themselves. Absolutely. But once they believe in themselves, the sky's the limit because they have the confidence to do whatever they want to do.
You know? Yeah, Mongo, I think you got it because that's the thing. It's look, I wish I could tell you it's different. I'm not a guru that's going to lie to you and say I'm going to make you $1 million. That's not what I want to do. I want you to be happy. I want you to make more money because I want you to have enough money where your wife lets you do this again. And I know that sounds silly, but I'm telling you, man, like 80% of the people I get are my wife's telling me to quit. She doesn't see why I'm doing it. There's no point. And I'm saying, look, we can get all our because you got to remember that this ain't your wife's dream. This ain't your kid's dream. This is your dream. So they're going to feel left out, and you're going to have to trade time one way or another. But if you're going to trade time, at least come home with money. That's what I say. At least do everything you can to try to enhance it. I teach a bunch of different ways to make money in wrestling too, man. Like all of it legal, ethical. You can tell your mom about it. You can tell your preacher about it. Like, no funny business, no crazy stuff. Like just legit stuff, open a side business, work extra hours to support your wrestling habit if you have to. All kinds of stuff, man. And yeah, jump in the car. It's one of the biggest ways to cut your expenses. Like you put 3 people in the car, you cut your expenses down to almost nothing. You could come home with money if you make small paydays over 3 days. And don't book one show on a weekend, book 3. Book a Saturday show as your tent pole, right? And then Friday one to get there, Sunday one to get back. And you don't have to do that every month. If you do 4 shows in a month, that's 48 shows. That's a lot. Work 48 shows one year, and I'll tell you, it's a lot. It'll seem like a lot. You'll seem like a full-time guy. Now, before you said we're leaving, but I always do something with the people that are kind enough to have me on a podcast. Okay, I want you guys to think real hard. What can Uncle Bob do for you guys today? What can Coach Bob do for you guys? Is there something with you guys that I can help? A piece of knowledge that I can help you guys now? Is there something that's something you guys are struggling with aside from this pandemic nonsense, but something in your business you're struggling with, something in your career you're struggling with? Help me. Give me something, or give me something that your students bring up a lot, but I'd really like to help you guys because you guys were kind enough to have me on today. So what can I do?
Go ahead, Mongo.
Oh,
we both got it. We both go. You go first. I'll go second.
I'll do one each. I'm okay with it.
I feel like I'm struggling with these guys getting professional wrestling gear.
Okay.
Boots. When they tell me, hey, coach, I can't wrestle in boots. And it's like, have you tried? No. Then how do you know you can't wrestle in wrestling boots? That's what I feel like I'm struggling with right now.
Well, and guess what? I learned this one the hard way because I used to wear the cheap. Joey and I got broke in about the same time. So Joey remembers those those biker shorts with like the neon green and all that. I used to wear that stuff. And I used to wear all the cheap stuff you could buy at JCPenney for $30 or Kmart or whatever, or, Walmart or all that stuff. So, and then I got some really nice custom gear. I finally, and it's like, whatever it was, $120 or $150 for just a beautiful singlet. And I was like, holy cow, I look about a jillion times better. And you know what? I feel a jillion times better. There's nothing, I'll tell you right now to your students and everybody else listening, there's nothing like having custom gear that fits you like a glove. And wrestling boots, once you get used to them, and I will tell you that it takes maybe a match or 2 to get used to them or a couple of workouts, they're the best shoes you'll ever. I have really bad feet. I love wrestling. I wish I could wear wrestling boots all the time. Get custom ones with a nice thick bottom, and not for the height. Get them for your feet, so to absorb the shock. And go to like a nice boot maker. I know RD Boots, and there's a couple of gentlemen in Mexico that make them. A couple of gentlemen in Texas that make them. Stagecoach, RD's in Canada, but he works pretty fast too. There's some really good boot makers. It's going to cost you $300 or $400, maybe even a little bit more if you have something real special on it. Gear's probably going to cost you $100, $200. And you know what I'm going to do too when I get it done? I'm going to send you guys my buddy Congo's clip on gear. He did a little Congo's corner on gear. He talks all about gear in there too, and he tells you a lot of reasons why you should do it. So I'm going to send that right to you first. I'll send that to you in secret before we even put it on the Rest of Life. How's that? So it's
nice.
It's a really cool segment, but I'm telling you, young guys, young girls, or even older guys like me, I didn't get custom gear till I was almost 30, man. Like I was just lame. And you really need it makes you look so much better. It really does. It just does. And the thing is, I used to coach at all the Ring of Honor seminars, and Delirious, when he goes out there, he has $1,000 worth of gear on him. And he was in Japan. He did, 25 tours of Japan. You're going to, these guys that, NXT, like anybody you're going to talk to that I'm going to put you in touch with, Joey, you have a lot of the same contacts I do, and you have a lot of same friends that I do. Like we know people in NXT, we know people at AEW, we know people in New Japan, we know people at every wrestling company, Impact, Ring of Honor, you name it, like MLW, all these companies. Those guys all have swank badass gear, and they're all on TV. So what does that tell you? That you should be getting that stuff. So yeah, listen to coach. Like, don't be lazy with that stuff. If you have to mow lawns, if you have to shovel snow, not much snow in California, maybe if you go north, but you know, if you have to, whatever you have to do, wash cars, just take another couple shifts at work. If you have to deliver papers, if you have to deliver pizza on the weekend, I stopped now. So I don't want you guys to think I've taken my hands off the wheel. I stopped. But so if you have to do that stuff to like make $500-600 and put money away for your wrestling gear, do it. Do it. And also, if you need a pair of trunks and you like the way they came out, buy 2 pairs of trunks from the same person the next time, because they can just do the design, and it's kind of like they can batch and it'll probably give you a little discount on it. So, and again, I know sometimes gear people are screwy and they kind of mess with you, but find somebody reputable. I'm sure you have a lot of the same people I talk to, Joey, and you know, I'm sure in Mongol you have a lot of good contacts for gear and stuff, and just invest in yourself. Yeah, it's one of the things that's really going to get you the difference. They're not going to put you on TV with garbage gear on.
And that's a great point that you make, Bob. You know, and then you also talk about another guy that passed away this year, Tracy Smothers, had taught me.
Oh,
rest in peace. Tracy Smothers taught me, get a job to pay for your wrestling habit. And I was like, Tracy, wrestling is my job. And he was like, get a job to pay. Shut up or get a job. I understand it. And I finally came back the next month and said, I get it, Tracy. I totally get it. All right, you got to pay for seminars and boots. And we're almost to the end. We're actually past an hour,
sure.
But you asked me what.
Absolutely. Bring it on.
And I think this might be the same question Sylvia has, and you tell me if I'm wrong, Sylvia, is I lack, and even me, right? I'm supposed to be the master. I lack the confidence in believing in myself sometimes, and it's tough. It is tough. What advice would you give me or anybody, any wrestler, aspiring wrestler on that? Because I know it, and Mongo said it, and you said it, Bob. We wrestlers, we lack this goddamn confidence in believing in ourselves. What can we do?
So what you're talking about is, and I've had to deal with this too, because you know, you set yourself up as this world friggin' renowned thought leader for wrestling. And people are going to ask you, like, why? You've never been in WWE. You've never done that. And I said, yeah, but I've trained people to go to WWE. And I said, I chose not to go to WWE. I didn't want it bad enough, right? So that's my fault. Like, it's not even my fault. I don't regret it. If I regretted it, I'd be bitter, wouldn't I? I'm not bitter. I'm thrilled for the people that are doing it. I love the fact that I can turn on TV and probably one of my friends is in a match. I'm not dropping names. I'm just saying I think it's the coolest thing in the world. Like, isn't it cool to see people you know on TV? Like, I didn't know anybody back in the day who knew people on TV. Maybe you knew somebody who did like the local weather or something, but nobody knew like Fonzie from Happy Days or anything. You know what I mean? And like, we know 20 Fonzies from Happy Days. It's cool as hell. So what I had to do, it's called Imposter Syndrome. It's like, you're afraid of being found out, you know, like, ooh, you know, I'm sure Joey, because I saw you had a ton of online content, man, I'm super proud of you. I'm glad you guys are doing it. Mongol, I'm sure you feel this way too. Like, you guys are all saying like cool, the right stuff. So, you know, and you guys know you have my endorsement, obviously, like, you know, my stuff's on the wall there. So that tells you everything you need to know. But the deal is, it's like, you guys are experts in your field. You know why you're experts? Because you can teach it. If you can teach it, you're an expert. And the thing is, you don't have to be the expert. You have to be an expert. And you don't also have to be the only expert. You just have to be expert enough. And right now, you guys are expert enough. And you're also smart enough to know that you don't know everything. So you have people like me and other people that are going to be on your podcast and have been on your podcast that know other things, that can fill in the blanks, that can help you. You've never, again, Joey, all the top schools that I've dealt with in the country and in Canada, they're never afraid to have somebody come in and teach. Never, 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 never. The guys that are afraid to have me come in and teach are the guys who truly are imposters, the ones that are afraid of being found out. You're not afraid of being found out. You do not have a lack of confidence, man, because if you did, you may question yourself once in a while. That's just human nature. All I can tell you is there's no reason for you guys to be doing this. You guys do the right things. You say the right things. Your in-ring stuff is great, Joey. I've seen it. I've seen your guys. Your guys are progressing quite, guys and girls progressing quite nicely. In my opinion, it's all systems go with the Santino brothers. I've always enjoyed a great relationship with you. And, you guys are doing great. So just don't be overconfident. obviously. Don't think you know it all, because that's when it bites you in the ass. The fact that you're asking that question out loud tells me that tells me that you are confident enough to do it. So just because you question yourself once in a while, that's just going to happen. That happens with me. That happens with the biggest experts in the world. It just does. But don't think that you're not on the right path. And the 95% you go, yeah, I'm good at this. I am. I'm good at this. Just say you're good at it. That's it. Just answer yourself. And so, no, I am good at this. Look at my students. Look at this. Look at that. I don't have to be the best, but I have to be damn good. You don't have to be the best. And the best can never be quantified in this anyway. You know, it doesn't matter. Plus, you're one of the best. I know that for sure. I can tell you that. But if you don't believe it, and I know you do, but I'm glad you're saying that you struggle with confidence sometimes, but really for you, it's just kind of a passing thing, you know, and you get it back. You know why? Because you show up for fucking work every day. That's why I know. And you're doing podcasts and you're saying the right things and you're encouraging your students to ask questions and take action. You know, Mongol, just keep pounding on them, man. Take massive action. Like, you have to, you know, and if massive action scares you, if massive action scares you, then work on it for 5 minutes a day. Send one message to a promoter, one day a week for now, and then make it 2 days a week next week and 3 days a week the next week, and 5 minutes one day and 10 minutes. And you know what? Joey, I'll send that to you too. Three letters you can send to promoters that'll definitely get you signed over, definitely get you booked over the other guys, because everybody's sending the same damn message and they're all awful. So if I can tell you that I can send you 3 better messages, then take advantage of those messages and use them. You know, that's the thing. It's not the amount of messages you're sending, it's the quality of the messages. And then later on, it's because you got to do the follow-up. Really, the biggest thing is people send messages, but then they go, oh, he left me on red. Oh, Joey, well, you're very sporadic on Facebook Messenger. You know, you just are. You're not hanging on your phone every second answering all the questions, you know. It might take you a few hours to get back to me. That's okay. I know that now. So it doesn't bother me. But in the beginning, I was like, oh, man, he doesn't like me. Oh, he hates me. Oh. And then it was like, no, he just takes me. I'm not on this all the time. And I'm like, okay. But some people wouldn't, you know, you might not explain that to people because you just might not be able to get back to them right away. People have to remember that everybody has a different schedule. Everybody's not hanging on your every word and ready for your message. So send your message again. Hey, did you get a chance to see my message? I'd really like to speak with you. You know what? I've sent a couple messages, and I understand that you probably don't have time to read it. So I'll see you at the show Friday. I'll be there at 5 o'clock to set up chairs, whatever. You know,
Nice.
People walk up to me. How do I send my resume to wrestling promoters? I said, show up to a show nice and early, getting ready to set up chairs in the ring and hand it to them in person. That's the best way to do it.
Nice. And there we have it. Thank you, Bob,
Thank you,
Bob
Bob.
Evans, for all the great knowledge that you're dropping today. You can check Bob out at one of his seminar, Hang with Bob seminars, and definitely check out the WrestleLife.com. We have his social media scrolling at the bottom to follow him on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. He's got a world of knowledge. If you're a wrestler that's wrestling right now, if you're a potential grappler that wants to jump into business, he's a great man to follow, great coach to follow. We really appreciate you. I really appreciate you giving me that pep talk at the end. I really appreciate you having you on today, and we just wanted to kind of throw what you got out there. So thank you, Bob.
I appreciate that, guys. Thank you, guys. I have so much respect for you guys. I love you guys so much. And any questions, go on the WrestleLife.com. There's a contact page. And go to this guy's school. If you're anywhere in California, anywhere there, go check these guys out. They have good hearts. They'll push you. They push me when I'm there. They push their guys and girls, but they'll do a great job.
Awesome. Thank you, Bob. You have a great night and be safe, my friends.
Love you guys. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Love you, brother. All right. So there we had Bob, and now we're gonna close out, but let me go ahead and throw this little commercial on right now.
What's up, everybody? I'm Joey Kaz, head coach here at Santino Brothers Wrestling Academy, and I want to invite you to join me in my next online pro wrestling course. Now, I get it. You might ask yourself, why would I want to take an online course when I physically want to get in the ring and learn to become a professional wrestler? Look, that's true, but not all professional wrestling training happens inside the ring between those ropes in the middle of that squared circle. A lot of it happens outside of the ring, and that's what we go through in this online course. We're not only going to define, clarify, and give our subjects an understanding, so that way it enhances your ability when you get the opportunity to get back into the wrestling ring and train physically. So join me Monday, January 25th for the next online professional wrestling course with Santino Brothers Wrestling Academy, and I look forward to teaching you about the subject that I love the best, professional wrestling.
back to you. Mom, you're on.
All right, here we are going. Chaos had to go to the restroom real quick.
He had to spring a leak.
Yeah, to spring a leak, but
Bang, bang.
our next class, January
25th.
January 25th. Check it out if you want to educate yourself a little bit more. Like Chaos was talking about, all the behind the scenes stuff that you really don't get to do when you have the ring going. Take a drive with the guys, get some knowledge. Here you get to sit down with Chaos personally, go through these courses, go through promos and putting matches together. Highly recommend it. Like I say, guys, invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. Super important.
I feel pumped. Bongo took over. He just went back. You didn't have to press another button or anything. You just produced it yourself. Oh, man, I'm pumped. Bob Evans got me all pumped up. I hope he got all you guys pumped up with the Wrestle Life Hangs with Bob seminar. Great having Halston Body on the in the chat room. Jose Nacho, Charlie Wu, Jay Dags was in the house. Good seeing you. I got a schedule. Hey, let's hit up. Let's get together, Mr. J Dags, and let's do that Zoom call that we've been trying to do all week because I'd love to talk to you. Gino told you so was in the house. Haas Hogg was in the house. Dane Burns, great seeing you, my friend. Tim Banks was in the house. King Tim, good seeing you, my friend. Let's see who else was in the house. Oh, yes. Big Elliot. Gaius Tantalas was in the house today. Lena Gonzalez was in the house today. And let's see who else. Jezebel Romo was in the house today. But yeah, we had a lot of people watching, and we really appreciate you taking the time to watch with Brutal Bob Evans today. So I don't know. I'm thinking about maybe trying to go live. I don't know, 20, 30 minutes every day. I know that everybody has a lot of questions to ask about, wrestling school. And what they want to do and how they want to break in. They even sometimes want to know what Chaos thinks about Monday Night Raw or the Wednesday Night Wars or Tuesday Night Impact or Friday Night SmackDown. And so maybe we'll talk a little bit about that. I don't know. Did you watch any wrestling this week?
I did not watch any.
Did you watch any wrestling this week?
I did, but honestly, I can't remember.
I saw Serena versus Tay Conti.
And how was that?
That was pretty good. I mean, Serena is phenomenal, man. Trained with Rip Rogers for a while. I gotta be honest. I love the fucking lockup.
Yeah,
the lockup is incredible.
Oh, she's got just
the lockup. If you have a shitty lockup in professional wrestling, I'm tuning the fuck out. I don't want to see it no more. I don't want to be part of it. I don't want to watch it. If you have a great lockup, I'm all in. You're
all ears?
Yeah, I'm all part of it. What, you got something to say?
No, so everybody, all the wrestlers out there listening, that's the biggest hint. Joey misses the lockup. So quit doing the whole spot fest. And just go back to the lockup.
But how do you have a bad lockup, though?
Well, most of the time.
Brother, what do you mean?
How do you have a bad lockup?
Bro.
That's the basic of the basic. That's the basic. You should have learned another move until you learned that move first.
Well, I know, but they learn it, but then they just forget it sometimes. Ooh. I mean, no. Okay, how many times have you been slapped in the fucking ear or slapped in the back of the neck like a fucking chop to the back of your neck on a lockup?
Fuck, chopped in the back of the neck?
You know what I'm talking about, where they go and they lock up and they just hook the back of your neck and you're just like, whoa, dude.
You get some bad lockups. But let me just tell you something. Work on your lockup. If you got a question on what a good lockup is, I mean, obviously, right? Watch Serena Deeb. Watch some Bruno Sammartino. Watch some superstar Billy Graham. Watch some Macho Man Randy Savage. Watch some Eddie fucking Guerrero. Good fucking lockups. You want to know the great lockup? Chris fucking Benoit. I know we don't talk about him, but that's a good lockup.
Well, I mean, you could also rock superstar Joey Chaos.
I got about Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle versus Chris fucking Jericho. WrestleMania 17. Watch that shit if you haven't seen it. The first 7 minutes of the match, I believe 100%. And somebody, please reach out to Kurt Angle. They didn't call that shit. They just went out there and did it. Right? Am I right? Because fuck, that shit was beautiful, man. And I want to believe they went out there and just fucking did it. And it was great. Why was it great? Because it was the simple fundamentals that Mongo, Chaos, Jezebel, and Coach Bob, Brutal Bob Evans talk about the basics. When your basics are on point, you can't go wrong.
The rest will fall into place.
You can't, the rest will fall into place. So love you guys. Love everybody watching. We're actually, we're coming back. Right? Are we coming back next week, Mongo?
Tuesday?
Oh, yeah.
We got Tuesday. We got the bad dude coming on.
Get your ass
Brand
on social
awareness.
media.
Brand
Contact
awareness.
promoters for
Yes.
future bookings.
Don't worry about believe in yourself 100%. And let me tell you guys something, right? You've seen me open up right now and ask Brutal Bob, what can I do? Right? I'm supposed to be the fucking master. And I still have these thoughts and worries about do I believe in myself? Am I confident enough? Let me just tell you something. Please 100% believe in yourself. Throw it out there, see what works, see what doesn't work. I'm not a fucking podcaster, but I know that I need to have some kind of brand awareness right now, see what works, right? Let's throw this up there. And I'm having a great time talking to everybody here, right? What am I doing anyway? I'm on quarantine COVID, so we're utilizing the tools that we have available to us now because Chaos says there one day will come. One day will fucking come and you'll talk about pirate radio. I don't know. You guys don't know about pirate radio. Maybe some of you older folks do. I know about pirate radio where you used to be able to sink into the fucking airwaves and be on the radio, right? And the feds are trying to find you. There's actually a movie about it, right? It's a comedy. We're doing that right fucking now. We have the ability to just right here go live. I'm right here sitting in my office at 7:17 p.m. in California talking to you right now. We have this fucking ability and it won't always fucking be there. It won't always fucking be there. The internet is not going to be a free for all. So while it's there right now, utilize the tools that are available to us right now. Because if we don't, we're going to be sitting there wishing for the days of pirate radio again. Am I wrong, Mongo?
No, it's totally
or what?
correct.
Utilize it. We've been doing Ustream since 2012. We figured out they made it a little easier for us to do it now.
Mm-hmm.
We were right on the verge. Did you guys know that our March show was going to be streamed live? For the first time. Well, yeah, in the new era.
But wasn't our shows live stream prior to, I think, Facebook or YouTube?
Yeah, you're saying the new era, but we were gonna have it all with the graphics and all legit. So that's what I'm saying right now. Believe in yourselves, guys. Put your stuff out there. Put everything out there. Let people want to get to know you. You're a great wrestler. You have a great spot. You pop them, but they want to get to know who you are. 100% who you are, what your personality is, and what it's all about.
You know what? Lack of confidence. Mm-hmm. I would say, guys, if you're lacking confidence, you got to make yourself short-term goals. And when you start nailing those goals, you'll start feeling better about yourself. When you start feeling better about yourself, you start getting that believing in yourself, and the sky's the limit, and that's the only way. If you're hesitating right now, it's because you're just lack of confidence. Don't set so many goals, execute them, and there you go.
All right, so I think we're gonna pretty much end on that, Mr. Mongo. We want everybody, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to tune in this Tuesday. Coming Tuesday, we got the bad dude coming in